DeMar DeRozan, speaking of Chicago, leaving the Bulls, sign and trade 3 and 74 to go signing with the Sacramento Kings. On its face, it validates the Kings a little bit more, right? You get 100%. A veteran that comes there. On the floor, I'm wondering who's going to create space. Sabonis, De'Aaron, DeRozan, they all occupy that lower third of the floor. And I'm wondering how that's going to work practically.
I literally, when this went down, I'm texting my fiance and I'm like, I know it's the middle of the summer and I got like travel brain, but does Sabonis shoot threes? I can't remember.
No.
Exactly. I was like, that's why I can't remember.
Nope.
I'm with you. But I also think Mike Brown is one of the underrated coaches in the league. And so I had Knicks in Sacramento. I think I had a Sacramento game for ESPN in Philly. They, to me, are... Now, this is where it's tricky because we don't think of DeMar DeRozan typically when we think of a team trying to play fast. But I think there's a window in there that if they can play with space, and I know we typically don't like it to be your turn, my turn, but if they could play with pace, I think it's going to create the space, if that makes sense. Because De'Aaron wants to get out and run. Malik opted to stay, right? Like, he can play quick. I think DeMar DeRozan and Sabonis, we pin these guys into how they play, and sometimes I think we forget to take a step back and look at what they have to do with said organization.
Right.
This will be the most help he's had since Lonzo and them and Zach and them was healthy when they first got there.
Yeah, you're right.
You know what I mean? And so there's still a first dribble and an attack getting to the rim if he so desires. Yes, both he and Sabonis can take advantage of mismatches with bigger guards. But I would think of DeMar as more of a true 3 and Sabonis is that undersized 4. So I trust that Mike Brown will be able to cook it up. And it's going to have to go through Foxy, who had his big-time clutch player year, kind of regressed to the mean a little bit, but I still think there's a lot there.
Well, you said it. It's about the space that you operate, too. DeMar makes a lot of his money on that baseline.
Yeah.
You turn away from double teams. And that means there's also space on the weak side of the floor where you're going to have your Keegan Murrays and the Malik Monks and all those other guys creating space for you. It may not be Fox and Sabonis creating space, but there will be space. And it's just up to you to sort of like optimize that. And Sabonis is just a tough son of a gun, too. I don't think we give that dude the credit for being like legit elbow in your grill tough. Like, he ain't no softy, and I like that about him.
I agree with you, but don't nobody get their credit till they do it in the postseason.
Yeah, that's an excellent point, because the last time we saw Sabonis in a 7-game series, we saw
it was thrilling.
Green.
Exactly. Came out on the wrong side of that. So,
and look, I said it with Sam Amick last week. Sabonis sends a limo for Anthony Davis every time he sees him. Make sure he gets his ass on time, feed him his best pregame meal, because I'm going to wear his ass out. And then Draymond Green says, hey, that limo, send that for Sabonis and make sure. Send it back. Send that Uber bag, that Uber black bag. Make sure he gets here, because I'm going to punk him. Like, that is the craziest, like, the matchups are crazy. Now, the third part of that deal, Monica, that we haven't talked much about, is San Antonio getting Harrison Barnes in that 3-team trade, and they got Chris Paul to pair with Big Slim. I'm trying to figure out if San Antonio's got something cooking and we're just not paying attention yet. Because you got 2 good vets over there with Big Slim. And Big Slim, in these little snippets that I've been seeing of what France has been doing here, looks like his game has been growing even more.
First of all, did you see the video of the France players juggling?
I just saw that like maybe last night. Yeah.
I was like, they're coming for us. Let me tell you, sitting down for draft interviews, Ricochet is not the best English, although he has really good, I wish I could speak 2 languages, he had really good English. So it was Alex. Alex Starr said to me, I'm like, on the circuit, playing with all these guys, like, what do you dream of? He's like, basically taking over international ball and all of us playing on the same Olympic team. And I'm like, we are on the clock. Because not these babies dreaming about it, and they all are like miniature versions of Victor. And then, of course, there's actually Victor. Well, chop, chop, Team USA, chop, chop.
Hey, look. That's why you had to bring the Avengers out this year, because this may be the last year of said Avengers.
I literally was like, Endgame style, truly. Like, what's happening?
Does that make Big Vic? Does that make him Thanos? We gonna snap his fingers?
Listen, I mean, I'm sure if you and I sat here for, what are we, 2024? For 2028, we could think of 5 jumbo-sized French-born players that will qualify to, you know what I'm saying? Like, so that will make him the Infinity Stone, and he's going to have the prototypes around him. Okay, but let me backtrack because we're going to deal with it now.
Los Angeles. Do you know the amount of pressure that will be on the United States